Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Here you go. I think you guys are at the front of the tree. Not 100% sure. Haven't worked on this one for a long time. Probably close to a year. You can see all the growth on it. I'll give it a spin. There you go. A lot of growth on it. Front, I think the front is there somewhere. So yeah, super healthy. Collected it 5 years ago. Did a massive carving, I think, video on it. I think I did a full video on it. It's going to be a lot of work cleaning this tree up, getting rid of unwanted branches, and olives just get so congested with little shoots and leaves and stuff that they're very time consuming to clean up, which is great. Bad news for you guys today is slightly grumpy. It's Monday, back at work, slightly grumpy, slightly hungover, slightly tired. Maybe had too much fun on the weekend. But the bad news about that for you guys is I don't feel like talking, so I'm not going to talk bugger all. Well, it could be good news, who knows. But anyway, I'm not going to talk much. We're just going to get into this tree with a hyperlapse. Hopefully I can put some music on and I'll just go through, trim it, clean it all out, and then we might even do a repot on this guy. So it's getting slightly late for a repot, but still, just in the realm of a repot. Even though they are starting to put on a lot of new growth, we should be good. So anyway, I'm going to get over my grumpiness on my mindless Monday. Sammy's mindless Monday. I'm going to get over my grumpiness and work on the tree and get into my Zen mode. So let's get into the hyperlapse, and I'll see you guys for maybe the repot, but at the very least a spin at the end. I'll give you a spin now. Quite a quick spin. Let's get into the hyperlapse and have some fun. Peace guys, time for some nice bonsai meditation. G'day guys, welcome back. Well, it was fairly enjoyable working on the tree. I feel like it's still too wide for the height of the trunk. So I'm thinking about doing something radical. Something really radical. I'm thinking about getting rid of some major branches. And just keeping anything going up and keeping it thinner. I don't know. It'll be a hard choice. Let's start back here. Okay. Remember, with bonsai, take all emotions out of bonsai because emotions get in the way of progress. Alright, well, there you go. Big branch gone there. Do we still need that little one there? I think so. great little ugly thing there. It's down with one here. I'm going for upright, you know. We want more upright. Alright, so other side, well, what do you reckon? Right back in. Vote yes or no. Oops. Okay, so we've definitely shortened things and it's more upright. And now that I've shortened that side, we're looking at that. Oh, I'm inclined to get rid of that one. I was going to keep it. So since you guys voted yes, get rid of it, that's what we've done. I'm sure no one wanted to keep that. Wow. Okay, difference. Now, I want to get rid of this one and go with the upright. Get rid of this one, go with the upright. Get rid of this one, go with the upright. Anywhere where I've got something angling back down, I want to get rid of it. Go more with the upright. Just this style of tree, I just want to have a really upright tree. So we got rid of some, whoa, okay, the light's flickering. We got rid of some fairly major branches there that have been on there for probably close to the whole 5 years. At least 3 or 4 years of it. And they're gone. So, it's just how it is, you know. Whether or not it's an improvement, I don't know, but I think it is. I think that is, you know, vote yes or no. Getting rid of those long, low branches and making it more upright. Was it an improvement? I mean, it was a hell of a gamble. Big cuts, very big cuts. Got rid of one big one here, big one there, a few big ones here, another big one outside here. We got rid of a lot of big branches doing that. Crazy man, crazy. So where do we stop? Well, I think we stop there for now. I'm pretty happy to stop there. Yeah, most of it's going upright. Right. So let's next step is get it out of this pot and think about finding a pot for it. So let's do that. Bring you guys back while I get it out of the pot. Wow, what a difference just going upright. It looks crazy different. Just gave the whole tree a whole different look. You know, sending everything upright and getting rid of all those lower branches. And it was only 3 or 4, you know. Made a big difference. Oh, man. I was wondering how I would lift it and bang the pot off, but jeez, I wish I had more hands. I've got to use my wrists, my forearms to push the pot off while lifting it up. Okay. So you can see 5 years in this pot, I think, since collection. I've carved it in that time, I've developed all these branches in that time. When it was first collected, not even this major branch here was on the tree. Everything's been grown since. We carved in behind everything. You've got this really cool live vein going up to this top section of foliage up here. Another cool live vein heading to this foliage here. And its own little separate live vein heading to this back branch here. It's completely separate from the rest of the tree, little live veins. So we've got all these crazy little live veins going to all different parts of the tree, which is really, really normal for an olive. Olives have all these little live veins that feed just a certain part of the tree. So it's really cool to have all this dead wood in between and have all these live veins. And you know, this could soon become, I always say it, but one of my favourite trees. So next thing is I'm just gonna clean out the roots, mainly with a hose, and just see what we got. sitting in here, and then give it a bit of a repot. So yeah, let's do that. I don't really want to make too much of a mess in the shed, so I'm going to do it outside because I'm getting sick of cleaning up the shed all the time. And like I said, it's a moody Monday. Moody Monday for me, or mindless Monday. So, but moody Monday is probably slightly better for how I'm feeling. But I do feel a lot better after working on this tree, and I've got some good hope for this tree too. So I am feeling better. I'm going to clean out these roots, bring it back in, and then let's put it in a pot. So cheers. And wow, some of these big branches taken off. Big steps, big steps. Let's hope it's worth it. I think it will be in the long run. Okay, bringing in after the clean up of the roots. G'day guys, welcome back. Well, the Grim Reaper could be coming into town now. I've gone harder on this tree than I would suggest any of you guys go. I took, well, you can see the original height, and that was to the top. I took a massive slab off the bottom, probably 2/3 of the root ball. I just literally sawed through it with a saw, with just a hand saw. There was no big hard wood in there because like I've always said, you flat cut the bottom when you collect it. So as you can see, there's nothing hard in there. It's all soft, nice roots. I will say there's still a lot of good roots, so it should be fine. But if you only had one olive, I wouldn't quite go this hard on its repot. Like it's been in the pot for 5 years, and like I always say, out the ground is your only chance to really go super hard on an olive, and it'll reshoot. Just cut it off at the bottom, which is what happened here, and then after that try and take it a bit easy. So today I haven't really taken it that easy, and by the end of the video you'll understand I'm going to go even harder on it. Like I say, I've got lots of olives, so if this one dies I won't be devastated, but I still will be because I've put about 15 hours work into carving this trunk, and I've done a bit of wiring and branch structure and stuff, so and probably another 2 hours today plus repot, probably 3 hours today. But like I say, I've got lots of olives. If this is your main tree, don't go quite this hard on the roots, take it a bit easier. But I'm going to go harder on the roots because I've got plenty, and I'm still confident, and I do look after my trees horticulturally, so I don't know, I guess I could say I've got a bit of a green thumb. Oh, it looks like the camera's got some dirt on it. I'll just wipe it off. So horticulturally, I would call myself a bit of a green thumb, I think. And oh shite, I just knocked it. God, talk about moody Monday. Just knocked the plug. Right. So horticulturally, I think I'm developing a bit of a green thumb, so I'm confident I can keep it alive. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't do this because it is a really cool tree. So anyway, with that all said, the disclaimer, whatever, let's get into the root system here. So you can see here's where I flat cut it, where my finger is. And a lot of these roots here have grown higher up because when I flat cut a tree, I like to bury it quite deep in the soil just to make sure that the thing survives. So what I'm going to do now is cut off some of these top roots. Okay, I know I've already said that I've gone a bit hard on it already, but I'm going to go even harder. I just am, the right time of year, and I'm, you know, in the mood to take a risk. So here we go. Just pulling out these, getting rid of these top roots here. So hopefully we can lift up the tree in the pot and really show off some of these really nice roots down lower. And if we were to keep these top roots, we can't really show the lower roots too well. So, you know, as long as all this pans out good, which I suspect it will, we might get some slow growth in spring. Like I say, this is harder than I would normally go, and I do suspect we're going to get some very slow growth from this tree heading into early summer. I already, you know, think that's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to die. I think it'll just be a little bit slow for a while. And we're trying to get down to this bottom plane of roots so that we can lift it up in the pot and show off the massive trunk on this thing, which was previously buried. So all of these roots on the top surface are getting cut off. So what would I do generally? Well, generally what would happen if I want to clear these top roots, I wouldn't take so much off the bottom. What I would normally do is I would leave the whole bottom how it is, clean off the top roots, and then it's got more roots at the bottom to keep the thing alive. And then next repot in another 3 years, I would generally then take some more off the bottom and it will be fine. I'm just, you know, getting a bit impatient in my older age here. You know, I'm almost 40, so I'm on a, you know, midlife crisis here, so, you know, I'm starting to push things a bit faster. Not, you know, not to the extreme, but I do definitely think this thing will be set back a little bit for a while. 100%. I don't think it would die. If I thought it was going to die, I wouldn't do this, because this is actually a really cool tree and I'm super excited about its future. So I don't think I'm doing it to the detriment of killing the tree, but I am definitely doing it to the detriment of slowing it down for a while. So we're just chopping off these top roots, some circling roots here. Okay, get rid of them. Get rid of these top roots here. The more top roots that we get rid of, the more we can lift it up in the pot and then hopefully expose more of these beautiful roots at the bottom and more of the flare. You can see the flare now really coming into play. I'll tell you what, this tree, if and when, I say when it survives this repot, and in a few years to come, it's going to be an absolute masterpiece of a tree. But, you know, might slow it down for a while, but I think in future, this tree has a massive future ahead of it. For sure. You can just see well, from the front there, you can see the flare, beautiful root system. See, before it was buried to here, so you could only see that much. Now we can really see the full flare from when I collected it, and that's what I like to do when I collect an olive, is to really bury it deep just to make sure that it survives. Keep everything moist, because you put them too shallow and you can end up, the top of it will dry out and it could die. You can see this here is all deadwood on this side, 100% deadwood. Still solid as. And that is the beauty about olives. The deadwood on an olive is so hard that it takes years and years to rot. It's just, you know, awesome to keep as deadwood. Like I say, because it takes years to rot. You've got years and years looking at that nice deadwood without it decaying over time. It just stays there, not like some, you know, softwood trees that just disappear. Right, so how are we looking? Well, we're getting there. Just want to cut off a couple of lumpy roots. I don't want to go crazy because we're already going fairly crazy on it. There's a top one up here, we'll get rid of that one. And that way, the more of these top ones that we get rid of above the flare, the more we can show this big flare. So that's really cool. I'll keep these out here because these, possibly the only thing keeping this little branch here alive. It's quite possible. Looking at that, the only thing keeping this massive big branch here alive is these little roots here. I can't see another live vein heading up there. That one's severed down here. Possibly some roots here as well are keeping that alive. But a bit like juniper, the roots down the bottom directly correspond with what's happening up the top. So here we've got a live vein heading up to the top here, keeping this branch here alive. So it's super delicate. So watch out what you're cutting. Same when you're carving. If you're going to carve, don't go carving straight through a live vein because the top will die off. You've got to really pay attention to where all your live veins are going on a tree. And same with your roots. Your roots correspond with the top on your olives. Right, let's just, I just want to rake it out slightly with my fingers just to make sure there's not any crazy long ones. Right, crazy long ones I'm going to just chop off now. Okay. And then that's it. No more cutting. We're done with the cutting. Let's put it in a pot. Now, once you've got it down to this sort of size, what pot you put it in doesn't really matter as long as you don't have to cut any more roots off. As long as it fits into a pot, the warmth of the pot will actually develop roots faster. So the smaller the pot, sometimes the better they recover. But yeah, wow, what an awesome tree. Absolute stunner. So happy with how this tree's turned out, the carving and stuff. Super sad if it did die, but I don't think it will. But like I said, please don't go quite so hard on your tree. It's just that, I don't know. Me and olives have a thing, you know. I like them and they seem to like me. A bit like a dog. I love dogs and dogs love me. Right, so let's find a pot for that thing. And then I'll get back to you. I'll just look for a pot. Okay guys, well I found two pots. One I got at the Adelaide Bonsai Show, which was Luke Parsons' handmade pot, which is a really cool pot. And I thought, I measured it up and I thought, oh, maybe it'll fit, maybe it'll fit. But I tell you what guys, if I did put it in that, alright, possibly I could get it to fit, but it would be a serious horticultural nightmare. At the least. to keep it alive in there. I could do it probably, but it would be bloody annoying. So here we are. I reckon it's going to head into this pot. So Luke Parsons' pot is bloody awesome, by the way. Just got to find a nice tree for it now. He makes pots. He's an Adelaide potter, but I'm pretty sure he ships around. Anywhere. There you go. Ships all over Australia. There you go. Phone number, email, everything else. Write it down, because one day, you know, his pots could be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Which is what's happened in the US, you know. Some of the US potters now, their pots are, you almost can't get them. Just kick this cord again. Right, anyway, in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to repot it into Lawrie's handmade cement pot. If you want to check out how Lawrie made this cement pot, go on to Planter Banter on his channel and check out how he made this pot. It's a really cool pot. For the front, I think we're pretty good with that front of the pot, with that lip and stuff. And we'll just you know turn the tree and keep it on a bit of a lean. Just fill it up with mix. Should be cool. It actually suits it decently, you know. It's not bad at all. Right, I'm going to get some succulent mix and let's pot her up. Okay guys, well, get ready to repot this. I'm just going to cut a bit of gutter guard, and I'll put probably 2 bits over each hole and a bit of a diagonal to make the holes a bit smaller, so that we don't get bugs coming up into the tree. We've gone with Lawrie's cement pot because it's a better size for the tree, and it actually suits it pretty well. Looks pretty good. So we'll see how she goes in this pot, and time will tell, you know, how the tree responds, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. And another plus is also that we've reduced the foliage pads by at least close to 80%, so it's probably got less than 20% of its original leaves that it had. Yeah. Another thing I'll say too is I'm using succulent mix, Osmocote succulent mix, because in an Australian climate where things are pretty warm, the succulent mix does just fine for all my bonsai. It's just fine. 100% okay. Some people get really hell-bent on what type of soil that they use, and people keep asking me what I use, but I've made it pretty clear a lot of times that I just use succulent mix, and at the very most I'll use a Debco bonsai mix, which is very bloody similar, almost the same. Okay, so I mean really you could say I just don't care. I just put it in that. Basically we're dealing with a potted plant, same as a pot plant out the front of your house, and we're just dealing with a pot plant, so no more special treatment is needed for a bonsai in one of these pots or a pot plant out the front of your house. Now whereabouts in that, right, I can put it there, I can put it further left. That's kind of cool, kind of really cool. Okay, Right to the right. What's that look like? Bloody weird. But, tell you what, angle forward, over to the left. Looks pretty cool. Alright, well let's put a little bit more in. A little bit more succulent mix. Yeah, Australian climate, succulent mix does just great with bonsai. They seem to grow super healthy. I've never had a problem with their health. Using succulent mix. Been using it for a good couple of years now, on and off. And, you know, basically I'm too lazy to stuff around making my own mix. Right, potting up the front of the tree, you got to really pay attention to where you want it. So we can go there, a little bit anti-clockwise, no, don't like that. A little bit more that way. Cool, that's cool. About there, you know, gives you a good look at all this structure, all the live veins and things in the tree. And then we just screw it in nice and solid. How's that? I mean, it looks pretty good. If anything, I would just lean it over slightly more. Okay. Yeah. Maybe just rotate it a bit. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I want to leave enough room for good roots at the front. And push it to the back. The back's going to have to be mounded up a little bit because the roots have actually ran out of room a little bit. I'll cut off some more of the top ones so only the bottom ones are used. But at the back, I'll just show you, because we're trying to lean the tree forward as much as we possibly can. Back's getting quite exposed up here, so we're going to have to mound that soil up, mound up the moss. I've also pushed it back so we can get some good root growth on the front of the tree as well. But yeah, there's plenty of soil down deep for this tree. It's just a matter of getting enough on each side of the tree. This side's fine, there's heaps of room for it to grow on this side. And another thing I will say too is it's first sort of repotting into a bonsai pot like we're doing now. I still like to bury the roots more, well not more, but like bury the roots as if you're not going to put it in a display for another few years, because if you bury the roots now, you'll make sure you don't get any dieback on those good roots that were kept. So you can see there's some plenty of good roots in there, and we're burying them now, making sure we don't get dieback, so when we uncover them again in another few years, a bit like you would have seen the silver birch video where I finally uncovered the roots and now they're exposed for good. This will be the same concept. It'll just be a matter of burying them for now so that they survive, and then we'll dig them up. Well, when we say dig them up later, we'll lift the tree a little bit, get rid of some of the topsoil and expose them. And that way, when it gets into its final pot in another 3 years, you'll have really good surface roots, and it should be super impressive. So we've taken nearly a full bag of this mix here, just to get the tree right. Really piled up the back. I've really piled up the back to protect all those roots, because I don't want that to die. I want that to sort of grow down into the soil, so that later on when we expose it, you'll see the roots, but the feeder roots will actually be down further in the soil, because we've got to make sure the feeder roots want to go down. So when we do a final shot of this tree, you won't see all these nice roots anymore. So it will actually probably look worse than it did, you know, before we potted it up. But you know, if you guys stuck with me the whole time, you'll see the potential in the root system. I'm just protecting it by burying it nice and deep again to really encourage root growth, root development without, you know, any dieback, and also promoting, you know, the roots in correlation with the top of the branch to just keep everything alive. Because at the moment, you know, we've gone down a pot size basically, cut it down a pot size, and we want to keep it all alive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get some moss it up. I know I said I wasn't keen to talk because I'm having a moody Monday, but I have talked a bloody lot, I tell you. I don't know, maybe I've got out of my moody Monday. Maybe I overcome my moody Monday and now I'm feeling better. Right, let's moss it up nice. You won't see the roots. You'll see a bit of the flare now. You can sort of see that, but you won't see the main flare of the tree. So let's moss it up and give it a bit of a water, and I'll get back to you. Cheers. G'day guys. Well, I've got it repotted into this big pot. A little bit oversized, but you know, tree is a big tree and there's a good root base in there. So anyway, we've done the hard work. We've cleaned up the top pretty well, got rid of 80% of the foliage. You can see the main branch structure is starting to improve. The roots now should be on a nice even plane. And we've fixed up all the roots that were coming up from high. We've cut them off, and it's going to have some good taper, especially when we can expose it a bit. In future, the plan of this tree will be just to keep developing the top. In another 4 or 5 years, probably another 5 years when it gets repotted, probably staying here for 5 years in this cement pot from Lawrie on his Planter Banter bonsai channel. You'll see him make this pot. He was kind enough to give it to me. Bloody legend. But what I'm trying to say is it'll stay in here for 5 years, and then it will get raised up again and you'll start to see some of those roots. But like I explained earlier, we're trying to hide some of those roots now with moss and stuff, just so that they grow well, and so we don't lose any of the surface roots, and then we'll expose them later when they're nice and strong, and then the feeder roots will be down deeper and the surface roots won't die. Whereas at the moment the surface roots, if we expose them, don't really have feeder roots down deep. So that's why we've done what we've done. So give you guys a bit of a spin on the way out. I know I said I wouldn't talk a lot, but it's become quite a big video and I've talked a lot. Even though it's Moody Monday, but let's just, give you guys a spin on the way out. Cheers for watching, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mates about the channel. The more people you share it to and get to subscribe, the more likely you guys are of me making more videos. If I get to a point where I feel like there's not enough people watching for the content, I'll just give up. So the more people that watch, the better. Cheers guys, really appreciate everyone that is watching and the support everyone's given me, because I'm just loving all the comments and reading them all, and yeah, super happy. But anyway, that's that tree. Should be good, and we'll see it in the future. Cheers.